Well, my husband Bryce and I had been sponsoring a couple kids over in Africa, to teach our two kids how blessed they are living in America. And I got this desire, like I want to meet them. Actually, that's not true. The true story is I had a party, and a girlfriend of mine brought a friend I'd never met. And she walks into my kitchen, and she points at my refrigerator, and she goes, "You fell for that?" I go, "I'm sorry, what's your name? Can you get out of my house?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "How do you know those kids aren't 40 years old and they're just taking your money?" I go, "I guess I don't. I guess I'm just having faith, that the money's getting there." She goes, "Yeah, I never really fall for that stuff." So that night I go to bed and I go, "Honey, I want to go to Africa. I want to see where our $25 a month's going." He's like, "Cool, honey, let's spend $3,000 so you can find out where our $25 a month's going." I go, "I'm serious, Bryce. What if it's fake? And we're telling our kids we're sponsoring these children. I might be paying for some guy's Porsche, Well, the man's been married to me for a long time, and he goes, "Okay, get the information." So I got all the information. I got the shots. I told no one we were coming, because I'm going to be Diane Sawyer. I'm going to bust this thing open if it's fake, right? So the night before our trip, I'm not even kidding you right now, my husband gets deathly ill. Like he's never sick. I'm like, "Honey, you got to suck it up. We got to make it to Heathrow." He's like, "Babe, I can't go." And I go, "It's a sign. We're going to die in the plane and leave our two kids orphaned while I go try to find these kids that are 40 in Africa." He's like, "You're so dramatic." He goes, "Babe, you need to do this." And I'm like, "Come again?" He goes, "Honey, you don't like to go anywhere but the day spa." He goes, "The fact that you want to go to East Africa?" He goes, "I think you need to do this." I'm going, "You're going to send your only wife to the other side of the world? Like, who's going to carry my luggage, But I did. I woke up the next morning, I peeled those little pictures off my refrigerator, and I flew from LAX to Heathrow, from Heathrow to Entebbe in coach. "Sure, sir, bring your seat back, I don't mind." And I show up in this little village called Gaba in East Africa, and I walk in and I'm like, "Hi, I'm from America. I came to meet my two kids, AR212 and GR479, right? This gracious woman goes, "Okay, follow me." And I'm thinking, great, we're gonna get some action done over here, right? 2 miles later, she hikes me into the back lot of National Geographic magazine. Mud huts the size of my walk-in closet with a bad-looking sheet for a front door. She goes, "This is Omega's house." I'm like, "That's the name of my little girl." She goes, "Go ahead, go in." And as I pull the curtain to go inside, this little girl darts at me. She goes, "Mzungu," which means white, okay? But at the time, I'm thinking she's saying, "Angel, like this white girl just dropped from the sky." And I didn't recognize girlfriend from her photo at all. She had grown, okay? And I said, "Omega?" And she goes, "Yes." I go, "I'm Shelene." She goes, "I know." And as I was holding her like I would my daughter Brooke, I'm thinking she's real, like $25 a month. And I got a little overwhelmed. And I said, "I'll get you anything. Because I'm an American mom, and I have an American Express card." I'm like, "I'll get you anything, honey. What do you want?" And she goes, "A bed." And I'm like, "Cool. Where's Target Jungle out here?" "You got a Pottery Barn?" So I took her into the capital of her country, and I met our little boy, Alonis, and I bought her a bed, sheets, a mosquito net, a blanket, and a pair of shoes for $20. I'm thinking we're all Oprah over here, right? I'm like, okay, I went back to Little Girl's Village and I did an HGTV design on a real dime, okay? I bought the whole store out of beds. Come to find out the store owner, I've never even told anyone this. He's like, "Oh my goodness, you're an angel. My wife is pregnant. You just bought my whole store." And I said, "God bless you, right on." I took all those beds, we went back and did an HGTV design on a dime. I'm rolling out linoleum, I'm putting up mosquito nets, I'm passing out beds, they were $3, like a deck of cards. And I'm thinking, if my girlfriends back home knew that I'm skipping a manicure, pedicure, and I'm keeping these kids alive, fed in school, they'd skip it. So when I got back home, I got phone calls off the hook. My girlfriends, "Was it real? What happened?" And so I had an Africa party. Some women do Tupperware. I do Africa parties. And I invited 60 of my girlfriends. And I shared my story. And I said, "And I'm going back. And forget move the bus. I'm thinking land that plane. I'm doing Extreme Village Makeover. Are you in? Who's in? Anyone go with me?" And so I started flying all over the world. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. So when I got back home, I never had a desire to start a charity. I kind of feel like there's too many. Like, go do something already with your charity. And especially, I couldn't find one that truly gave 100% of the proceeds away without an asterisk by that. See, if I'm skipping something or I'm donating, I don't want to pay for your paper clips. I don't want to pay for your ink. I don't want to pay for your payroll, anything. If these kids are really dying, right, of hunger and clean water, skip it already. Just pass through. So I had a lot of people tell me, you're not going to be able to start a charity and do that. Well, I did, because I love when people say no. I don't hear it. And so we started skip1.org, and I can tell you, to date, we have 100% pass-through. And as a matter of fact, I even have private donors that cover the MasterCard Visa transactions on our site, so that truly 100% goes to bring food and clean water to these kids. So as I'm traveling these countries, I saw the need for these kitchens, which is another hilarious story. Like, here's the plaque my girlfriend bought me. It's in my kitchen. Guess what I made for dinner? Reservations. Girlfriend, the paper's still in my oven with the video, okay, from when I moved in my house. It's like crazy. I don't cook. And so we're building all these kitchens. It's crazy so that kids can have lunch every day. And I was at this one orphanage. I'll never forget this, when the first kitchen happened. And I saw this piece of dirt on the property. And I asked the director of the school, I go, what's your dream? Like, if you could do anything here, what would you want to do? And she goes, I want to build a kitchen so the kids could have lunch every day when they come to school. And I'm thinking, we could probably hook that up. So I came home and I shared with our Skip One team this opportunity, and they came up with a campaign. Why doesn't everybody skip lunch once in their life? Hello, Jenny Craig, right? And skip it, donate what you would have spent on that $5 footlong Subway. And as Emerald would say, and bam, we built a kitchen. It was so cool. And these kids, it's like their Starbucks, okay, in the jungle. It's crazy. But you have the kitchen in the back, and then the front's the dining room where all the kids eat. And it was just like, it was insane. So as I was putting my talk together, I'm thinking, the theme is geniuses, icons, and mavericks. And I have to be honest, I don't really think there's anything genius about bringing food to a kid who's hungry, or iconic about building a kitchen so a kid can have lunch at school. My kids eat lunch at school every day. Or maverick about bringing running water to a village for the very first time. You know, the dictionary says a cultural icon is someone who is respected and revered in a certain group. So, for example, the symbol of technology and innovation, Steve Jobs, that's who I think of. The symbol of adventure, Amelia Earhart. That chick was the first one to fly across the Atlantic in a plane. Love her. I'm thinking of victory, determination. MVP Jonathan Quick! Did you guys see the Kings? I mean, this is crazy hockey game. I mean, this is nuts. The Stanley Cup is in LA. Did anyone see this? 45 years. I'm not even 45 years old. And of course, I can't. I love that series, by the way. My husband and I cuddled more than we ever did in our life. I just loved watching that game. He's like, can we have another series, Kings? Because I was close to my wife. And of course, I can't forget this icon, Elfise. What, you don't know who she is? Because you wouldn't. She's my icon. And her picture hangs framed in my office. There's only actually one other person on the planet who has this same frame picture, and that's Cheryl Hendry. That's because she met her the same day I did. You see, she symbolizes desperate hunger, the will to survive, and a decision that one woman had to make that was far above any of our pay grade. You see, while Cheryl and I were traveling in the Dominican Republic and Haiti with the Skip One team, mind you, this was a month before the devastating 2010 Haiti earthquake. A trip, actually, that my then 13-year-old son, Blake, and Cheryl's then 16-year-old daughter, Erin, asked to go on. And as we were visiting these just slum villages, I took that picture, you guys. That's not even a house. These homes, orphanages and schools. We met Elfise. And as the interpreter introduced us, I asked, do you have any kids? And he said, yeah, she has the two that are standing right next to her and a 13-year-old daughter. I'm like, shut up, where is she? Because my 13-year-old son's right here and they could meet. And so as the interpreter started translating my words, I could tell that something was really wrong. As Elfise's eyes started to well up, mine did too, and I had no idea what they were saying. It's amazing to me how the bond of motherhood transcends language. I was bilingual in that hut at that moment. I'm just telling you. I knew something was not right. You see, Alphys lived in Haiti, and she was in a desperate and hopeless situation. Her sweet little family didn't have AIDS or cancer, but they were dying. They were dying of starvation and diarrhea from the lack of food and contaminated water. And in her desperation, she had to make a decision to sell her daughter to save the others. I have a 12-year-old daughter. She's an icon to me because she represents why I fight every day to bring food and clean water to children and families, so that mothers like her all around the world will never, not on my watch, never have to make a dreadful decision, gut-wrenching decision like that again. You see, I'm not concerned that you guys are going to miss the cultural icons, the Steve Jobs or the Jonathan Quicks. I'm concerned that you might be sitting next to one of them and you're just too distracted to know it. By distracted, I mean we get so busy trying to keep up our standard of living that we're not living. I'm guilty of this. My iPhone calendar is packed. Speaking engagements, lunches, tennis matches, meetings, but not a one appointment on my iPhone to meet an Alphys on a Wednesday in the poverty-stricken village of Caballona. I want you all to ask yourself this question. Is the icon you revere worthwhile? Because I believe we were all created to do something for someone who can do absolutely nothing for you in return. The problem is we get so focused on ourselves that we miss it. I'm not asking you to save the world, but doing nothing, that just doesn't feel right. Just like I had a divine appointment to meet Alphys, I believe you have a divine appointment as well. Don't miss it. Thanks, you guys. Thank you.